Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, out for a wee ride on the bike today, and heading to Burgh-by-Sands. Which is the place where Edward I died. We're going to go and have a look at the monument and hopefully have a look at the church that we laid in state for a while in. Yeah, Edward I died in 1307 on July the 7th. 1307, that's 777. Quite lucky if you get that on the bandits. He was actually on his way to have a bit of a fracas with Robert the Bruce at the time, who had come back from Ireland after being in exile there, and had been or decided to become King of Scotland. And had a bit of a battle at Loudun Hill and actually beat the English. Wasn't a massive battle or anything, but King Edward decided to head north as a result of, unfortunately he got ill with dysentery, and he was laid up in Lanercost Priory for about 6 months, which we won't be going to today, but I might make it part of this series on Edward I in Cumbria. And yeah, so when he was feeling a bit better, he had his armies congregate at Carlisle Castle. He'd also sent out word for his son Edward II to head up to Carlisle as well, but he was doing something else down in Essex, meeting a delegate from the Pope or something like that, and didn't hurry back or follow his dad's instructions timely. So anyway, Edward set out from Carlisle Castle eventually and wound up heading this way, strangely enough. He didn't go straight into Scotland. Now I assume the reason for that is that he was going to be using some of the waths. That's like paths to you and me across the Solway. I assume they call them waths because you know, paths across the water, water paths, waths. You know, I assume that's why they call them waths. But there's about 3 on the actual Solway itself, and I assume he was going to use one of those, probably the one from Burgh-by-Sands, not Burgh-by-Sands, Bowness-on-Solway. Does that head straight over to Annan pretty much? It goes from Bowness-on-Solway to or pretty much the estuary of the River Annan, and it's only a stone's throw from there to the actual town of Annan. And of course Annandale was the ancestral home of Robert the Bruce, So I assume King Edward was gone there to cause a bit of a fracas. But also, Loudun Hill is in Ayrshire, and from Annan up to Ayrshire it's an easier route, you know, to get there. So I assume that's the reason why he was crossing there, you know. I suppose it would have cut out a few bridges for him to cross, heading across the Waths, and probably easier to get his armies across the Waths rather than across bridges. Yeah, at the place where he actually finally died, on Brough Marsh, is quite close to one of the Waths, which heads across both the Eden and the Esk, the rivers Eden and Esk, and finally comes out at the there's an old stone on the Scotch side, named after one of the locks, Loch Maben. It's called the Loch Maben stone. I could have been using that one, but my own personal thoughts are that he was probably going to use the Bowness on Solway Wath. Though obviously I don't know for certain. But it just makes sense that he would, you know, head into Annandale and then up to Ayrshire from there. Anyway, yeah, so he died and succumbed to his illnesses. He actually kept it a secret for 2 weeks as well, while he was up here, while he was dead, you know what I mean. And in that time, Edward II made it to Carlisle and was proclaimed king in Carlisle Castle, which I assume by that time Edward I had been moved from St Michael's Church in Burgh-by-Sands to Carlisle Castle. Yeah, but anyway, we'll soon be in Burgh-by-Sands anyway. Made a couple of changes, well, I said a couple of changes. I've made a change to the bike. I've fitted a quick shifter. Are you watching? Yeah. Quite easy to fit. Well, I say quite easy to fit. It is quite easy to fit the quick shifter. The pain in the arse is all the bloody plastics and stuff that you have to take off to get at the plug that you plug into. Oh, that's handy. That doesn't often happen, does it, kids? You know, here we are in Burgh-by-Sands. So we'll head to the monument first, I think, rather than the church. I've got a bit of a walk to do. So I've brought my boots with us again, my walking boots that is. And I've also brought the drone with us as well, although I have flown the drone here before. Like, something that I find quite interesting is that the marsh at this part where the monument is, you can clearly see these mounds, you know what I mean, and they look like medieval fields to me, the way that they used to have fields in medieval times. It looks, you know, very medieval. I'll show you that when I've got the drone up. Well, you'll see that, should I say, when I've got the drone up. There's a Solway ahead of us there. You can't see the monument just yet, though you could see a bombing range observation post there. Those with keen eyes will have seen that. Let's find somewhere to dump the bike. I'll put it on here, I think, actually. Hopefully no farmers will get shit-faced about it. So, I'll get myself sorted out, and we'll see you shortly. So, take care. So, we're back. This is the Edward I monument. And as you can see, it's in a right bloody state. You know, when you think of things like the Wallace Memorial and all those sorts of things, you know, and you look at this, ridiculous, isn't it? It needs looked after. This, like don't get us wrong, it's not in a very good place, being on Brough Marsh, you know, but it is looking rather unkept. Of course, this marsh, you know, floods quite regularly as well, you know, so, but you would still expect them to look after it a bit better. Now, mind you, I have to say, there was a plaque that had fell down last time I was here, and it looks like that's been put back up. But there's also, looks like here, looks like something's been nicked off there, bit of brass or something like that.
There's even graffiti on it. Ridiculous. Yeah, it's not in a very good state at all. And if we look round this side, it looks like there's a couple of plaques been pinched off it. You won't be able to see anything there because of the sun. You see those two square, hold on a minute, two like bare, looks like where there's been plaques, nothing there anymore. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, that's the alleged to be the actual spot where Edward I actually died. So the army was camped out on here, and they came to feed him, lifted him up in his bed, and he apparently had died in their arms, in his servant's arms. It was said that he requested that the flesh be boiled off his bones, and his bones carried before him into battle against the Scots. That was just a rumour, like. It may have been true, I don't know, but what is certain, he'd requested that his son was looked after and kept away from that Gaveston, Piers Gaveston, who was portrayed as that gay boy. It's not very PC, Mark. Cut that out. As his lover. So anyway, well, hopefully we'll go and have a look at the church and see what it's like there. I've been flying the drone, but it's been quite windy, so it's been yeah, and the wind has just calmed down really nicely. I'll get the drone back up again to see if we can have a look at that other plaque on the other side of the monument there. Anyway, I'll get back to you shortly.
So lads and lasses, that was Eddie's monument. So let's go and have a look and see if we can have a look around St Michael's Church, which, as I say, was where he was initially laying in state until he was, I think, moved to Carlisle Castle. But it's in a bit of a state, old Eddie's monument. I assume there'll be a lot of people, especially the Scots, who are going, quite happy about that. But at the end of the day, I don't think he was any worse than any other king or leader of his time, Certainly Robert the Bruce was no angel, and if any of you think that William Wallace was anything like he was portrayed by Mel Gibson, and then you'll never want for moonshine, I'll tell you. You all right there? Oh, lovely doggies. So yeah, there's lots and lots of evidence and reports of things that he did to the clergy around here. fact, at Lanacross Priory, I'm sure he had the priors dancing naked in front of him. What's going to be the best way to get to the church here? Just wondered whether it would have been easier just to park there. Let's just turn this around a bit. Hopefully we can get in, but just trying to turn it round so as I can get out easier. Hope that gate's open, but there we go. Right, well, let's have a look at this. Assuming I can get in, but anyway, either way, I'll see you shortly. Oh, here we are at St Michael's Church. As I think I mentioned, it was built in the 12th century. That's the 1100s, for those that get confused about them sorts of things. And built out of stone off the Roman wall. You can see it's a fortified church. And I have checked that the door is open, and it is. So I might risk actually going inside, although I've not phoned anybody or, you know, let anybody know that I was gonna, or that I was wanting to come in and film it. Look at that doorway, like, that's amazing, isn't it? Look at these carvings and stuff. Astounding. Yeah, it's a nice church. Yeah, this tower was reduced apparently to just the 2 stories, and there was another peel tower as well. Hope I'm okay walking on here. All these old gravestones. Look at this. Fantastic. I love old buildings like this, like, absolutely love them. Let's I hope I don't regret it. Let's have a look inside. Sorry about that, just wondering what that van was doing. Let's see if we can go inside. Hopefully won't be a problem. Yeah, that's, oh, you can't see a damn thing. No, it's too dark.
It's too dark. Lovely church though. Here there's a stairway up to the the tower, which has a big metal gate, but the camera isn't dealing with the low light in there, so yeah, you'll have to make do with the outside, I'm afraid, chaps. Fantastic though. All these old stones off the wall. Anyway, so as I say, he probably lied in state here for a short time before he was moved to Carlisle Castle, and then from there made his journey to Westminster Abbey. So that's about it for this, so we'll catch you when we're back on the bike. Yeah, that was St Michael's Church. Very interesting. Anyway, let's get out of here. Yeah, it's a church I've been past many times but never had a look in. Yeah, built in the 12th century, mostly from stone from the Roman wall, Hadrian's Wall. As with a lot of churches around here and castles and all that sort of bloody paraphernalia. Yeah, so there's no protected buildings in those days. So, like I say, I'm gonna attempt to do a bit of a series on Edward I and his doings in Cumbria. So next time, obviously we've started at the end here, really, you know, going to the place where he actually died. But next time we'll go to Lanercost Priory, I think, and see what we can see there. So until that time, I hope you enjoyed this, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Look after yourselves, look after the people that you love. So, peace out.